Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys my top 10 market bestsellers so far this year, and if you're going to markets this summer, you definitely should try making these products. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome if you're new. Today's video is going to be about mostly plushies, but a few other things that are my market bestsellers from this year, and I'm so excited to share them with you. And I'll tell you guys like how much I priced them at. It's in Canadian dollars, by the way. And we're gonna be starting with like the number 10th place. So all of these are really good sellers because they made the top 10, but I'll be moving up towards the number 1 bestseller. So make sure to stay to the end to figure out what my number 1 bestseller is. I'll also share all the patterns and tutorials I use, and I will link them in the description box. But let's just get right into it with the number 10th bestseller. In 10th place for my bestsellers so far this year, we have Rubber Ducks. So this is my pattern, and I have a free video tutorial and also a written pattern you guys can find on Etsy. Use code YouTube for 20% off, by the way. But I absolutely love making these. These are actually a new product for me this year. I sell them for $16. I didn't really know how they were gonna go, but they did do really well, especially at my first market of the year. So I highly recommend trying these out. I use burnout blanket yarn and a size 8 hook, but you can also use a 6. It just makes it a little bit smaller, and they also whip up really fast. They're no sew, so I really love to make a whole bunch of these at once, and they really don't take very much time. So it's a super nice pattern to make for markets, and I will link it down below for you guys. And I will definitely be making more of these for my upcoming markets because they just sold really well. And I don't really know if people think they're just regular ducks or rubber ducks. I kind of say both, but they were intended to look like rubber ducks. They just kind of ended up looking like cute ducks or birds. So I love that, and I would highly recommend trying out this pattern. I've also seen people put squeakers in like rubber ducks, so like they squeak when you squeeze them, which I think is really creative and cute. I've never tried that, but maybe I will in the future. For number 9, we have turtles. So this is my Tim the Turtle pattern on Etsy. It is a no-sew turtle. I also have a free video tutorial. What I love about this turtle is that you don't have to crochet any of the limbs, like the arms or the legs, before you start making the turtle. You would just use crochet stitches to make them. So I really love that because in the past I have not liked to make turtles for markets because they're just too time consuming to be worth the price, in my opinion. So this pattern that I created is perfect because they do not take very much time at all, and you don't have to make a billion different things before you actually make the final product. You just make the head, and then you make the shell, and then you assemble it all, and you crochet the tail and the arms and legs as you go. So I would highly recommend trying out this turtle pattern, especially if you don't like making turtles, because I think this one might change your mind. It definitely changed my mind. I saw these for $20, and they do sell really well for me. I also make special modifications. I don't currently have pattern modifications out for this one yet, but I will do that in the future. I make sunflower ones. I've done watermelon ones, which you can do with the pattern that I already have available to you guys. You just change the colors to make it look like a watermelon on the shell. And then I also do some strawberry ones, which actually my strawberry one recently sold at one of my markets, so that was really nice. But yeah, I absolutely love this pattern, and I'm so glad that I created it because now I sell turtles. For number 8, we have jellyfish. I sold a lot of jellyfish so far this year, especially at my last market. You guys can watch all my market vlogs and my market prep vlogs if you're interested. My most recent market vlog was my best market I've ever done, so check that out if you're interested after this one. But jellyfish did sell very well there specifically, and I've been selling jellyfish for years and years and years, so this is not a new product for me, and it's always gone very well for me. I love that you can make these in any color, and I usually use a scrap yarn for some of the legs as well, because usually I will do 3 legs in the main color and then 3 in a different color to kind of just add some like uniqueness in there, and I really love the way they turn out. I recently came out with a updated video tutorial which is no sew, and then I also have a no sew written pattern on Etsy. It's the exact same thing. I just updated it because I came out with this pattern a long time ago on YouTube, but it was not no sew, so now it is no sew, and I just think this is so cute. And honestly, these like do not take very much time at all to make because the construction of it is kind of similar to my mini octo pattern, and then you just do legs. So it's not the exact same, but it's not much more time consuming than that. So it's really nice to sell these because they also can be sold for a little bit more because they're a little bigger. I sell them for $15 and I always bring a whole bunch of them to my markets. So I highly recommend trying these out. In 7th place, we have a higher priced larger item, which I'm very happy about. These sold very well for me at all of my markets I've done this year, and they are a little more time consuming to make, but they're totally worth it, and they're not like painful to make because they're no-sew. And they are Crochet by Jenna's no-sew dragon. I use the video tutorial for these because it's free, but I think she also does have a written pattern, and she probably has a larger version of it as well because this is a mini dragon. I don't know for sure, but I like to make the mini one. I always use burnout blanket yarn for my plushies, so they come out pretty big for me even though they're supposed to be mini. I do use a 6mm for these instead of an 8, but I would also try making them with an 8. It would just come out really big and I'd probably need a lot more yarn, but I can use like less than a skein of burnout blanket for these. I think they're so cute and you can get really creative with the different ones that you make. I made a whole bunch of them this year, but I honestly wish I would have made even more because I had a lot of them sell, and just because they were a new product for me, I didn't make like a ton of them because I didn't know if they were gonna sell, but they did go over really well, so I highly recommend making these. I sold them for $45. In the future, I might push that to $50 just because they are pretty big, and again, they are time consuming, but you're not spending all that time like sewing and stuff. It just kind of takes longer because it's a bigger project. So I really enjoy making these, and I'm gonna make a ton more for future markets. Number 6 is going to be small bees. So I sell small bees and also large bees, but these small bees specifically sold really well for me this year. Bees are always a good seller, but I think some people are kind of under the impression that they're very oversaturated maybe in the crochet world. I don't know if it's just because I don't have like a ton of other crocheters in my town that are like selling bees, but I personally don't think customers feel any different about them like than they do other products, if you know what I mean. Like I don't think they're like, oh, we see crochet bees everywhere. So they do sell really well for me, and I do recommend trying them out if you never have. I do have a no-sew pattern for these. I have a video tutorial that I made during the 10 weeks of market tutorials, which you can check out. It's all my market best-selling products that I make, and I did a 10-week series of tutorials for them. If you like video tutorials, I have that for you, but I also have a written pattern if you prefer that, and it is so cute. I absolutely love making these, and they're no-sew. And my pattern is also a little bit more seamless than some other ones because sometimes with color changes on bees, since there's so many stripes, you can kind of see that chunk of where the color changes on like the bottom or wherever you put that seam. But mine is a little bit more seamless because of the way that I constructed it. So if you don't like when the color changes are super visible, I recommend trying out my bee. And yeah, I really love this pattern and I highly recommend trying it. I need to make a lot more bees too for my markets because I completely sold out of them. I'll also be coming out with a larger bee pattern soon because they also sell really well for me, and I sell these for $14. Getting a little bit more high up into the best sellers, for number 5, we have my mini octos. Me and my sister Fiona have been selling these for so long, along with our strass balls. And I think a lot of people in our town like have kind of bought them at this point, so sometimes they're not as best-selling as they have been in past years, but this year they did still sell really well for me. And I noticed also I sold a lot of blue and purple ones this year, so I don't know if that would be the same for you guys depending on, you know, where you're going to markets, but I really did notice this year that those ones were going a lot like faster than some other colors. But I use any color to make these. I love that these are like a scrap yarn friendly project. They take like no time to make. You can make a whole bunch of them in a day, and I absolutely love them. They're no-sew. I have a video tutorial from the 10 weeks of market tutorials, and I also have a written pattern which I just released on my Etsy, so make sure to check that out if you're interested. And guys, I haven't really talked about this on here yet, but I am gonna start doing pattern bundles on Etsy. So I have been posting a lot of like ocean themed patterns and no-sew patterns because I'm gonna bundle them up, and you guys will be able to save a lot of money on the bundles, and you'll get a whole bunch of patterns in that bundle. So stay tuned for those coming soon. I'll post it on my community page and my Instagram when those come out, but I'm really excited about those because I feel like it would be so fun to like buy like a ocean pattern bundle and get like the mini octo, the starfish, the jellyfish, the whale, all of them. So stay tuned for that coming soon. But that was a bit of a tangent. And I do sell these for $6 each or 2 for $10. So these are one of my most inexpensive plushies I offer, along with like the stress balls and one other one that we'll get to later on. But you can also do the 2 for $10 mix and match. So a lot of people like to do that. And I do sell a lot of them with that deal. So if you're like comfortable with that price point, I do recommend doing that kind of a deal with these. In the past, like 5+ years ago, we would sell them 3 for $10. That also went really well. So I do recommend with like some smaller plushies doing deals like that because it can really entice people to buy more products. But number 4 is going to be a non-plushie item. A lot of these, I think like most of them are still like amigurumi, but I do use acrylic yarn to make them, and they are keychains. I will list off the keychains that I make. I grouped them all together, but I'll tell you which ones are best selling. So the keychains that I make personally are all my patterns. I do have a couple of them available as written patterns on my Etsy, but I do have all of them available as free video tutorials. And the ones that I don't have written patterns for yet will be coming soon. I'll also eventually make a keychain bundle, which I'm really excited about. But I love all my keychains, and the ones that I make for my markets are puff flower keychains, lucky charm / 4-leaf clover keychains, sunflower keychains, which are one of my best selling ones, and my watermelon keychains are the best selling ones. Highly recommend that. I do have a written pattern out for the sunflower and the watermelon, and I also have lip gloss keychains, or like lip balm, and they hold your little lip gloss, and a lot of people really love those. So I highly recommend trying those keychains out. I have a little keychain stand with 2 shelves, and I do the top shelf for $6 and then the bottom shelf for $8. And I put all of them on the top shelf except for the lip gloss holder keychains, which I put on the bottom with a few other ones that like Fiona makes, and they go really well for me. So I highly recommend trying keychains if you never have. I actually only started making keychains last summer, and they've gone really well for me, so I do highly recommend trying them out if you never have. Even if you just sell plushies, because I feel like they're plushy enough that like you'll be able to make them really easily, and also they still fit your brand because they're like amigurumi. Know what I mean? So yeah. But number 3 is going to be a larger product for me, and that is loaf cats. I also haven't really sold loaf cats a lot in the past. I used to make some with like acrylic yarn, which I did still sell this year as well. And last year I made them with a different pattern. They were pretty small. They sold really well too. So this year I tried the, I think it's Anne Caraway art. I'll link the tutorial I use. I think she also has a written pattern, but I used the video tutorial. And I tried those out. I really liked to make them. I love that you can do so many different colors with these. I did some that were like realistic cat colors, like calico, tuxedo, and like gray ones and stuff. Then I also did some like pink ones, and they were so cute. And these do come out pretty big for me, so I sell them for $22. And they're not really no sew, but they kind of are. They're really low sew. All you have to sew on is the tail, and it takes like 2 seconds, so I totally don't mind having to sew the tail on. I think you could also technically crochet it in if you could figure out where to put it, but it would probably be floppy since like it's like kind of tall, so just sew it. It's pretty easy to sew on. But I'm really glad that I tried this specific loaf cat pattern out. I sold a lot of them this year, and they got a lot of attention. People were also asking me if I did like custom ones, and I said no, because I don't really take custom orders. But if you do take custom orders, maybe that would be a great idea for you as well. For number 2, this is going to be the 2nd place bestseller of my market season so far. We have a brand new product for me this year, and these are tiny turtles. I found this pattern when I was watching Nina Elaine Crochets. I really like that channel. If you've never watched it, check her out. But she like links all the patterns and tutorials she uses for her markets, and I found this one from her page. I don't know whose pattern it actually is, but I will link it, and it is free on Instagram, which we love. These are really great for scrap yarn, and they don't take very long to make, although I think Nina said she can make them in like 5 minutes or something. I certainly can't make them in 5 minutes. Crocheting just takes me a little bit longer, I think, than some other crocheters, even though I've been doing it for literally like over half of my life at this point, which is crazy. But that's okay. They still are very market prep friendly for me, and they don't take very much time, just not 5 minutes. And they're also no sew, which I really love. I do like sew up the head a little bit so that it's like pointing upwards a little bit more, but that doesn't take very much time at all. I also did that on my own turtle pattern just because I prefer the way that it looks, and I sold these for $8. I wanted to do kind of a deal this year on these, but I thought since it was the first year I would just kind of put them at 8, see how that goes. In the future I might put them up to 10 and then maybe do a deal on that. I don't know how that would work. 2 for 18 or 2 for 16. Let me know what you guys think about that. Or if you sell these, let me know how much you sell them for, because I have seen like Nina, she will sell the mystery ones for like $12, and that would be American, so that would be even more Canadian, probably like $14 Canadian. I personally don't think they would sell for that much here where I live, but I could do maybe 10. And I also really want to do mystery turtles someday. I might just do mystery plushies in general. Like, I've been wanting to do those for so long and I never have. But these would definitely be a good product to make for mystery because you could do a whole bunch of different colors and they don't take very much yarn at all, which I really love. So I highly recommend trying this one out if you haven't already, and I will definitely be making more of these in the future. And I'm really glad I tried the pattern this year. And then we made it to number 1. So number 1 this year for me is going to be mini whales. And this is Crochet Customs mini whale pattern. This was also one of the last things I market prepped before my market season started. I started market prepping in like January or February, and I didn't have markets until May. But I saw this pattern when I was watching Kiara's channel, and I thought I really want to make those with burnout blanket yarn because I think she makes them with velvet maybe and as like keychains. So you could definitely do that. I know they sell really well for her, but I personally make them in burnout blanket like I do with everything else. And it is a no-sew pattern. They whip up super quick. I love this pattern. I can make a lot of them in one sitting, which I can't do with a lot of plushies, so I absolutely love these. I also love them because they are one of the things I sell for $6 or 2 for 10, so you can mix and match these with the stress balls or mini octos, and I really love to have like another thing that I can offer to mix and match with that deal. And a lot of people did do that, and they also bought 2 whales a lot. So I love these. I made a lot of blue ones and I sold a lot of blue ones, but I also sold a lot of like pink and purple and yellow as well. Sold really good for me. If you have never tried this pattern, I highly recommend. Also check out Crochet Customs YouTube channel because I love her YouTube channel. I've been watching her for years and she's Canadian like me, so I love that. But I'm so glad I tried this one out. I don't know if she has a written pattern for this, but she does have an Etsy shop, so if you want a written pattern you can check on her Etsy. But I really like the video tutorial. I wasn't planning on doing a lot more new mini items just because I felt like I already had a lot of mini items and I wanted to be able to have some higher price items. But earlier in the season I was able to make those higher priced items, so then I had a lot more flexibility of what I was gonna make, and that's when I decided to do stuff like the tiny turtles and the mini whales. And I'm so glad I did, because especially with my town, since I've been selling here for literally 10 years, but like these specific products for probably 5 years, I think it's really nice to be able to offer them new mini plushies, and they have responded to it really well. So I'm super happy about that, and I highly recommend all of these patterns. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you got lots of information about what maybe you can make for your next market or your market season this summer. Also, I'm going to be selling these plushies all year round, but my markets so far have been in the spring and summer, so that's what I based it off of. I also have lots of other top 10 market tutorials and patterns from past market seasons. I think I have one from like 2024 and 2025, maybe even 2023. All of those products likely still sell very well for me, so if you're interested in more patterns, check those out. I also have lots of ideas videos, some of them market specific, like some no-sew free plushie patterns and things like that, so highly recommend checking those out if you're interested. I'll also link my market playlist and specifically my 2026 market playlist so you guys can catch up on everything that I've been making and selling this year so far if you haven't already. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite pattern was from this video, or one that you're gonna try out, or if you guys have ever tried any of these patterns before, let me know how much you sell them for or how well they sell for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to see more videos like this one. We are getting very close to 15,000 subscribers, which is crazy to me. Like, I can't believe it. That was my goal for this whole year. So to think that we're almost there in only June is really exciting. So thank you guys so much. And I'm really glad you guys are all here to be part of this community. I'll also link my link tree, which has my TikTok and Instagram, which I've been posting on if you're interested in following me over there. And I always have my Etsy shop linked as well. And again, you guys can use code YouTube for 20% off because I want to show my appreciation to you guys. So thank you guys so much. I'm also always running sales over there though. So I've done like 50% off, 30% off, 25% off. So just check it out. And I'm probably running a sale. But I'm gonna go now and I will see you guys next time. Bye.